Welcome you to the presentation of Group 3, Japan's Business Etiquette. You can see that our group has 5 members, Giang, Hoang, Trang, Hue, and Binh. Good morning everyone, my name is Huong. Let's start our presentation with some interesting information. Do you know that over 90% of the personnel officials of 500 US businesses stated that increased communication skills are needed for success in the 21st century? We all know that our company, MA Vietnam, will start doing business in Japan with the probability. So, to help you succeed in negotiations, business communication skills, we, as a Research and Development Department 3 of our company, after carefully researching and analyzing, would like to present you some outstanding features of Japan. Our group presentation has 3 main parts as you can see on the slide: background information, business etiquette in Japan, and conclusion. So, let's begin the first part with me, Huang. Background information about Japan, the country we need to know. Japan, the sunrise country, is an island country consisting of 4 major and numerous smaller islands, forming a part of the volcanic ring of fire. Is becoming a more sought-after location for new business. It is a destination for business travelers, as well as to create partnerships among established companies and forge relationships with companies in Japan's bustling startup scenes. Well, Japan's unique culture has been shaped by chance and forces from within and outside the country. Therefore, an understanding of Japanese etiquette will help you in dealing with Japanese people, business, and society in general. In this presentation, there are 8 highlights you should keep in mind when deciding to participate in Japan's dynamic business. Next, we will continue our presentation.
Now, we will present our findings about Japan's business etiquette, which are necessary to grasp before penetrating into this market. The first point is the greetings and introduction. When you meet business clients or executives in Japan, greetings are an important element of cultural etiquette. There are 2 main aspects we should focus on. First is bowing and handshakes. Traditionally, Japanese people usually bow when they greet each other. Bowing is a distinct and meaningful characteristic of Japanese culture. Shaking hands is uncommon in Japan, but exceptions are made, especially in business situation, and a handshake comes after a bow. Unlike Japan, a handshake and a slight bow is the general custom for greeting in Vietnam. Second is business cards, another critical aspect of business introductions. Business cards are exchanged at the very beginning of a meeting, and they should be presented with both hands and a slight bow. This feature is totally like in Vietnam. Okay, next we will come to the second one, dress codes. In Japan, the business environment is not one that promotes individualism. This typically means that when dressing for business in Japan, one should plan accordingly. The Japanese place keen importance on detail and sophistication of business clothing. Dark colors are the norm for men and for women alike. For men, the rule is dark suits, white shirts, and muted ties. And for women, dressing conservatively is even more important. However, Vietnam's business attire is more special because it also depends on their location. For example, the West Coast in the southern part are more casual and white collar. Therefore, you should consider this factor to get dressed in a suitable style. Okay?
My name is Nguyen Thi Hue, and I will continue our next section, which is work ethics. After carefully researching, we extract three main dimensions from Hofstede's dimensions, and the first dimension is collectivism, which refers to the fact that group harmony and a sense of belonging to the group are the basic values in Japanese working culture. They also emphasize the harmony between humans and environments. So, our company should show our care about the benefits of the group and environmental sustainability instead of only individuals when negotiating with them. And the second dimension is the power distance. Japanese people have moderately high power distance, like our Vietnamese people. They are conscious of their hierarchical position and more likely to listen to their superiors. However, one significant difference between our people and Japanese people in this respect is that they respect courtesy and facade in a business environment. Meanwhile, our habit of chit-chat or doing irrelevant things to work is considered a disrespect in their eyes. Therefore, we need to turn off all digital devices like personal phones, show entire respect to the managers, and only show our focus on business. And the third one is uncertainty avoidance. Japanese people have a high uncertainty avoidance with a score of 92 out of 100, which contrasts with that in Vietnam, only 30 out of 100. This means that they are highly worried about unpredictable uncertainties, and so they are not so receptive to changes or new ideas. While Vietnamese people are more flexible, they also frequently refer to ambiguity instead of talking straight to the main intentions. Therefore, to succeed in partnering with them in business, we should prepare a perfect detailed plan and clearly identify their specific benefits when working with us. Criticizing or disapproving their offers straightly, however, are strictly avoided. The next section is the perception of the Vietnamese people. Indeed, Vietnam and Japan has established and developed diplomatic relations since 1973, and Vietnam is also rated as one of the most reliable countries in Southeast Asia. Generally, the Japanese view the Vietnamese as being friendly. However, Japanese people consider that the Vietnamese offer more excuses than them and often tell lies. Therefore, it takes a period for Japanese people to open themselves and adapt to Vietnamese cultures. Joining in drinking sessions is one of the best ways for foreigners to adapt to Japanese culture because when people are drinking, they get less formal and more frank to each other in comfortable atmosphere, which is also a good choice to close the gap with our partners.
Hi, my name is Trang, and now I'm presenting about the two last parts of our group presentation, attitudes toward time and attitudes toward women. Attitudes toward time. For Japanese people, being early or punctual for all appointments is a show of respect, regardless of their ranks, and so forewarning and apologies are required for late arrivals. Meanwhile, our Vietnamese workers tend to delay our time as our habit even when it comes to important interviews or first meetings. Also, it is equally important for Japanese people to be busy in the eyes of others even when business is slow. Therefore, we need to be punctual as the plan has been set. Additionally, even when we have finished our own part, we should not leave work early. This shows our competence and good cohesion to their eyes. Besides, attitude toward women is also a valuable issue in negotiating process. Similarly, both Vietnam and Japan were influenced by Confucianism, in which the gender inequality issue has existed for a long time. In Japan, women have a distance to go to achieve full equality and continue to struggle against misogyny and objectification. Historically, women were expected to shoulder housework, childcare, and elder care each day and depend on men. In modern times, although a great number of Japanese women work outside the home and hold many important positions in society and business, they are still influenced by tradition, with choosing career or family. Although the government in Japan and Vietnam has recently begun to focus and much later attention to the issue, how women are treated in society is still a matter of concern when cooperating with a Japanese partner. So, as the one who will make a deal with them in the future, we highly suggest you pay attention to your manners. Our company representatives will not be ignored or overwhelmed by their attitudes, or your manager will not have wrong conceptions about Vietnamese women. So, the last part will be continued by Binh An presentation.
Hi, I'm Binh An, and I will continue our presentation with dining etiquette. Japanese always value dining etiquette, which is considered to reflect one's character, lifestyle, and spirit. So, understanding this etiquette will help you shine in the partner's eyes. To make this etiquette easier for you to understand, let's watch the following video. Before a meal, the host sits at the middle of the table on one side, and the other guest in the middle on the other side, which is the farthest to the door and opposite the host. Typically, the Japanese at a low dining tables that sit on a cushioned plate on tatami floor. As a grooming, you shouldn't sit with legs crossed or spread the legs out in front of you. While men sit cross-legged, women sit with legs tacked to one side. This is a very difficult position for most inexperienced women to maintain for long. So, if you find yourself in this situation, you may sit on one hip, legs together and fall back to one side. This phrase, itadakimasu, meaning I humbly accept the food, is always said before the meal. During a meal, chopsticks are put horizontally on the chopstick rest, about 2 inches away from the table's edge. Instead of serving dishes to others, people eat their own food. However, one should pour others a drink from the shared sake or beer at the table and never serve oneself. Remarkably, eating all the food at the table will show courtesy to each other. After a meal, the phrase "Gochisousama" is actually to give thanks to the chef. Now, let's move to the next part, gift-giving etiquette. In Japan, not presenting a new business partner with nicely wrapped gift at the end of the first meeting may prevent future deals. So, here are some important reminders when giving gift in Japanese style. Firstly, gifts should be small and inexpensive, such as cookies, coffee, or handicraft. Secondly, wrapping them in red and white is avoided because these colors are used in funerals. And a set of 4 or 9 items is avoided because they are considered bad luck. Nextly, using both hands to give a present is compulsory in Japanese culture. And lastly, Japanese have a habit of refusing once or twice before accepting a gift and not opening it in front of the giver.
Let's come to the final part, conclusion. Overall, this brief description of business etiquette in Japan demonstrates our desire to help you do business in Japan successfully with Lychee. When doing business in Japan, you should keep in mind about 8 highlights. And we are still pleased to provide you with further information so that you can have a better understanding and feel more confident in starting your own business in Japan. Please feel free to contact us anytime through phone or email. You can see them on the slide. Once again, thank you for letting Group 3 be your supporter when starting a business in Japan. Thank you for listening.